Alright, I'm back again with another collection video, continuing with my quest of going through the Blu-ray collection that I have. This time we're going through Powerhouse Indicator releases, so another British label, focusing on, somewhat similar stuff in comparison to Eureka, in the sense that they have a lot of classic movies. So lots of studio movies, Hollywood studio movies, especially by Columbia and Universal. Unfortunately, I don't have many of the expensive box sets, but, I do have some of them. And there's also an emphasis on early horror movies, and then some weird stuff like Mexican movies. Lots of variety here when it comes to different releases. So let's start off with a couple of box sets. As usual, I'll start with the stuff that I have watched and talk a little bit about the movies themselves and the releases. And then I'll go through the backlog in a more quick manner. Right, so let's start off with Bloody Terror. The shocking cinema of Norman J. Warren from the 60s to the 80s. One thing that I like about these indicator releases is that instead of J cards, they often use, they do also have J cards, but for the box sets they have these cardboard like square things that also I think Arrow uses for some of their releases as well. Or used to. But these are quite nice, and these are also numbered, so this is 3032 out of 6000. Now, Norman J. Warren, a director who is not the most well-known in the horror circles, but all the movies are in these thin cardboard cases, which is nice. So we have Satan's Slave, which is kind of a it's a 1970s style cult worship movie. Takes a lot of cues from The Wicker Man, the original. It's all right. Then we have Prey, which is a sort of a body snatcher alien invasion movie. This one I thought was a pleasant surprise. I quite enjoyed it. The main actor is quite good. I can't remember his name. Then we have Terror. Have you ever felt an evil presence around you? This one I don't remember anything about. Have I even watched this? I'm actually not sure. That's interesting. Then we have the obligatory Alien ripoff movie. So there is Inseminoid. That cover art is pretty sick. Yeah, it's an Alien. It's an Alien ripoff. Just a blatant Alien ripoff, and not a very good one either. The marketing materials look quite nice, so I would be excited to see that one if I didn't know that it was not very good. And then we have I think this is a haunted house movie, Bloody New Year. A bunch of teenagers go into a house and it's haunted. It's very spooky. So Norman J. Warren is the type of guy who would see something and then go, I could do that. And then he would do his own version of it. There's also a poster. I'm not going to open that up because it's just massive. And then some production stills. This is again problematic to try and show these because I don't want to get them out of the band. It'd be a chore to get them back in. Yeah. Low budget horror movies with this sort of exploitation vibe to them, copying what other people before him have done. There's nothing exceptional here, but I think this set of movies is quite entertaining, especially in comparison to many of the other many of the other box sets that Indicator has released. Some of them are quite, let's say, the box sets are always fantastic, but the movies are quite low quality. So there you have the creature from Inseminide. Cute. So yeah. What is this movie? Terror. I can't remember anything about this. Weird. Usually I remember quite well the movies that I watched and what I haven't seen. But Terror, no idea. It's probably a ripoff of some earlier movie in some sense. All right, there we go. That is Bloody Terror. I'll use that as a bookend on the left side. Maybe like this. There you go. That's good enough. And then for the other bookend, let's use Ray Harryhausen. This is the Volume 1 box set. I don't have the second one, which is a shame because the second one has, I think, Jason and the Argonauts and other good stuff in it. So yeah, this is number 2523. So 50s horror movies that have Ray Harryhausen's special effects in them. These are thicker cases. So you have It Came From Beneath the Sea. It's a giant octopus movie. Not that great, but well, the special effects are quite nice. Then you have my favorite out of this bunch, 20 Million Miles to Earth. Has a stop motion animated creature in it that is growing rapidly. And yeah, it has a lot of great scenes. It has many scenes in which the monster and the human characters are on screen at the same time. So the technique that Ray Harryhausen used for that is it's impressive. It still looks good. And then thirdly, there is the 3 Wars of Gulliver, so an adaptation of Gulliver's Travels. However, I don't remember from the original story there being a giant squirrel in it, but well, it is what it is. And yeah, this is a really good box set. I enjoy Ray Harryhausen's work quite a bit, especially 20 Miles to Earth out of these 3. Yeah. Again, for those who haven't watched my earlier stuff, I don't usually go through the booklets in like great detail. So if you see something here that you'd be interested in reading, you're out of luck with this video, at least. So I don't think it's I don't even want to show everything that these releases have to them because I want to promote them. So in a way that kind of, I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'll shut up. I'll move on. So there's the other bookend. We'll put it like this for the time being. Then some other limited edition box sets. Next up, we have Cold Eyes of Fear, which is an Italian horror movie. Quite a good one. I enjoyed this one a bit. Well, a lot, actually. Yeah, these have these sort of J cards that aren't attached to the box in any way. So it's just, you rip off the plastics and this falls off. So I store them in these. So this is number 448 out of 4,000. Yeah, Cold Eyes of Fear, directed by Enzo Castellari. I'm not familiar with him from before watching this movie, but he does have other movies out there. I think Arrow released a double set of his other crime movies. What are they called? The Heroin Busters? Oh, it's there on the shelf. I can actually see it. It's Heroin Busters and The Big Racket. Rogue Cops and Racketeers. 2 films by Enzo Castellari, that one. So this is the same director. And it looks like a giallo, but it's not. it starts off as a giallo and then it develops into something different. It's more of a house invasion movie than it is a giallo. It is quite interesting. The script is the strong point of this movie. Also has a bit of visual flair. It does have a soundtrack by Ennio Morricone. I think the soundtrack is quite bad, to be honest. This is the era where Ennio Morricone was experimenting with like avant-garde jazz and things like that, and the soundtrack just sounds pretty bad at times. There is a great theme here, so there is some good music as well, but not everything here is worth listening to. The movie itself is quite interesting, and I think definitely worth watching. Next up, let's talk about the disappointment. This is the Columbia Horror box set that was released, I think, last year. And this is number 543 out of 6,000. So a Columbia Horror box set. I was quite intrigued by this. These movies are from the 1930s and 40s, so really old ones. And yeah, it wasn't great. So let's talk a little bit about the different movies here. We start with Boris Karloff, I think. Yeah, Behind the Mask. Is this a horror movie? Well, kind of. I guess the problem that many people have with this box set is that most of the movies aren't really horror movies. They are horror adjacent, and they have some elements in them that you would recognize as horror, maybe. But this one is it's a crime boss movie. One of the people, that there's a mysterious crime boss and no one really knows who he is. And then by the end, you realize who he is. It does have some recognizable names here. So Boris Karloff, obviously. He's a great side actor in this one. He's not the main character here. Jack Holt is great. Him. And yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's a throwaway crime movie. Like, can you guess who the crime boss is? Type of movie. Also a kind of a murder mystery thing. It's all right, but nothing special. Then the second movie is a quite forgettable white people in a jungle. Oh, they are doing human sacrifice. This is awful. Type of deal. Does have Faye Ray in it, who is a great actress. But yeah, quite a forgettable one. Black Moon. Deals with the fear of the unknown and tribal traditions and that sort of thing. Right, then we have, I guess, Airhawks is next. Airhawks is a good one. I like Airhawks quite a bit. It's also the least horror movie of all of the movies here. It was filmed in 1940, so I guess the subject matter is, if you think through the lens of the people who saw this movie in the 1940s, I guess that would lend itself to a horror setting, because it deals with a German mad scientist who has created sort of a death ray that's then been used in this sort of criminal manner. One company is trying to purchase another one. They don't want to sell, so then the bad guy of the bigger company gets this death ray and starts sabotaging the operation of the other company. But it's more of a sci-fi adventure movie. Has lots of great scenes with planes in them. It's quite fun, quite a fun movie. And yeah, definitely the one out of this box that I would probably recommend the most to anyone who's interested in adventure movies, like 1940s adventure movies. And then the other one on this is, or in this case, and on this disc, is Island of Doomed Men, which has Peter Lorre in it. And, well, the movie is by far my least favorite out of everything here. It's a prison island movie, deals with slavery. Again, doesn't really have that many horror elements to it. It does, in the sense that it is a survival movie. There's this guy who is imprisoned on the island, but then kind of escapes and tries to set everyone else free, and he's there in a jungle by himself surviving. So that is kind of a horror setting, also explored in movies like The Most Dangerous Game and other things from this era. But yeah, otherwise it really takes a lot of talent to make a prison island movie and make it boring. Like this is not a great movie by any means. And then we have the final set of two movies, starting off with Cry of the Werewolf, which is a what was it again? Was it the 1940s again? Cry of the Werewolf, 1944. Yeah, so quite an early werewolf movie. You have gypsies, you have a dog professor who has been killed, and kind of a murder mystery thing going on. And surprise, surprise, it's werewolves. As is usual in this era of werewolf movies, the werewolf is just a dog. Basically, it's a dog. But who cares? It's an all right movie. As far as werewolf movies go, it's all right, I guess. And then The Soul of a Monster, I guess this is the other highlight movie in this set, if you want to call them. I would rate this and Airhawks at around 6 out of 10, and these are the best movies in the set. So, as I said, quite a disappointment overall. But yeah, The Soul of a Monster is a movie about kind of a dead person being resurrected by this evil woman and then being controlled. It's not I guess it's a proto-zombie movie, but not really, because it's the guy who gets resurrected is just a regular dude, but his personality is completely changed because this evil woman is controlling him, making him do things that he wouldn't want to do. So yeah. The book is probably the best part of this box set. Really high quality, lots of good writing by many different writers. Oh yeah, there is the dog that is supposedly a werewolf. Or a wolf. Yeah, there we go. That is the Columbia Horror box set. Only for people who are really into deep cuts when it comes to horror movies. Then we have a brutal movie, Irreversible by Gaspar Noé. And this does come with two cuts of the movie. One is the original that has this reverse order. So it's a movie that starts from the end and then goes scene by scene to the beginning of the movie. Notorious movie, has Monica Bellucci in it, Vincent Cassel, some very famous French actors. And yeah, I don't want to say much about the movie because if you haven't seen it, it would be spoiling the movie to really say anything. That's Gaspar Noé, the director. That's Monica Bellucci. So I don't want to talk much about the content matters of the movie, but it is very unpleasant to watch. It is an exploitation movie. It is extremely grimy, has some violence in it that you probably wouldn't expect to see in a movie, even by Gaspar Noé. Like, he is a strange guy making strange movies, but this level of ultra violence is quite unusual in a movie. When was this released? Or when was this made? 2002. And this release is from 2020. Yeah. And then we have Snapshot, which is an Australian kind of a exploitation drama movie about this woman who isn't really tricked into posing naked, or I guess she is, but she wants to do it. She wants to get a new life. This is number 199 out of 4,000. What was Irreversible? It was 2071, all right? So yeah, Australian exploitation movie. Woman is trying to get a new life. She works in a job that she hates, and she goes to a photo shoot and poses naked. And as you would probably guess, that doesn't really end that well. So it does have some twists and turns. I guess the highlight of this movie is that it has one of the greatest human being on fire scenes I've ever seen in any movie. It's really, really, really something how they do it in this one. An exceptionally well shot and planned out scene. But overall, not the greatest movie out there, but I guess a curiosity for people interested in Australian movies, in Australian cinema. Next up, we have a great Western. This is The Big Gun Down with Lee Van Cleef as the main guy. Just a really good, solid Western. Lee Van Cleef. Thomas Millian is also in this one. A recognizable name if you know your Italian movies. So yeah, I guess I'll start to go a little bit quicker because it has already been 20 minutes and I'm going through like 7 box sets. So yeah, there's Lee Van Cleef. If you like Westerns, you haven't checked this one out, definitely do. If you haven't watched many Westerns, probably not the best place to start. I mean, it's not necessarily a deep cut. It is quite a well-known movie, but not necessarily the best place to begin. Lots of recognizable faces in this one that you can see in, let's say, Sergio Leone's movies and so on. Oh my god, it's annoying to try and get this back in. Yes, there we go. Yeah, directed by Sergio Sollima, who is quite a lesser known Italian director, right? And then I have a movie by Jean Rollin. For some reason, this is The Rape of the Vampire. Awful movie, by the way. I really dislike this one. It's a type of French movie that I absolutely hate. So this sort of artsy type of thing. It looks like a university student project in many ways. This is number 153 out of 4,000. Yeah, but I guess it's too cruel to say that it looks like a student project. It looks pretty good. It's well shot, but it has this, especially the actors, it has this amateur vibe to it. Yeah, Jean Rollin. For some reason, Indicator decided to release like 15 of his movies, and all of them separately in these limited editions. I do have a bunch of them. This is the only one I've watched. I haven't gone back to him after watching that one. Not a huge fan. And then we have a great movie here. Burt Lancaster's The Swimmer from 1968. 2,733 out of 5,000. Has one of my favorite actors in it. Burt Lancaster, if we can find him somewhere. A psychological drama thriller. Where is Burt? There is Burt. Nice. Looking good in a swimsuit. Yeah, also this original poster art is great. I guess this movie bombed quite badly, but it is a cult classic now. Has been reevaluated by quite a few critics after its release, decades after its release, and it's really good. It's about this guy who walks around his neighborhood, visits his neighbors, and swims in their swimming pools. And you realize quite early on in a movie that something is wrong here, and it definitely is. So it is a dark movie. in many ways. Right, so there you go. Then I have one box set here more that I've watched some of, not all of them. So this is the Samuel Fuller at Columbia box set, covering 30s and 60s, some of Samuel Fuller's work in those decades. Vice and Violence. This is number 1532. So this is a box set that has a bunch of movies written by Samuel Fuller and then some that he directed. Out of the first disc, I've only watched one of them. So It Happened in Hollywood and Adventure in Sahara. I don't know anything about those. Power of the Press, I guess you could categorize it as a propaganda movie at this point. It's a when was this released? 1940 something? 1943. So it's in the middle of the Second World War. And it's all about media corruption, media manipulation, fake news, that sort of thing. So I guess a topic that is quite topical also today, but the way it's been done is quite ham-fisted. Samuel Fuller used to work as a newspaper writer, I guess, a journalist, and he has a lot of negativity towards that profession, which is, warranted in many cases. But in this one here, like, all of the characters are just caricatures of what you would expect. The corrupt guy in charge of a newspaper, and then the good guy who realizes that he's corrupt and wants to make a change and gets killed. All that stuff. It's not an hour long. It's not that great. Then we have the first full-length, like proper full-length movies in this set: Shockproof and Scandal Sheet. Shockproof, which one is which? I guess Shockproof is the one with the parole. Like, this woman is on parole, and this is her parole officer, and they kind of hit it off. And then Scandal Sheet is again another movie about a corrupt newspaperman using his power to hide the crimes that he has committed. Quite interesting. I think both of those movies are definitely worth watching. Crimson Kimono, this one I haven't seen either. Looks interesting. But then the highlight of this box set is definitely Underworld USA, which is a great gangster movie. Tells the story of this man who sees his father get killed by mobsters, and then years and years later gets a revenge on them. So it's like a revenge gangster movie. Really good stuff. So yeah, that's Samuel Fuller. And then I have here a bunch of just regular standard editions. I'll go through this quite quickly. Well, some of these are standard, some of these are limited. Absolution, starring Richard Burton. Lots of these are just British movies that are probably not that well known to the American audience. Absolution is a movie where students are playing a trick on their teacher in this sort of religious school, I guess. I don't want to spoil anything about it. It's quite interesting. Definitely worth checking out. Then another Burt Lancaster movie. This is Castle Keep, which is quite a strange Second World War movie. It's more of a drama than a war movie. It does have Burt Lancaster in it, directed by Sidney Pollack, very famous director for a good reason. It's a really strange one. I liked it a lot. It has this dreamlike quality to it. It doesn't feel real. It has this fantastic realism feel to it. Then I have Christine. This is just a standard copy, so you can see the difference. The right one is limited. The left one is a reprint. Different style of case. Also, no booklet. So I think Christine, this is spine number 1. So this is the first one they released. This is by John Carpenter. Great 80s horror movie. about a killer car. Really good stuff. A 90s horror movie. Oh, this is 80s. I thought it was early 90s. It's 85. A really bad 80s horror movie. Sam Raimi's Crime Wave. I absolutely hated this movie when I watched it. It has this offbeat comedic attempt, but it just, I don't really vibe with it at all. The actors are so over the top, and I just dislike pretty much everything about this. Next up, another standard release, Ghosts of Mars, another John Carpenter movie from 2001. It's really bad, but also kind of amusing at the same time. So I have a soft spot for Ghosts of Mars. It has Ice Cube in it. It's a sci-fi horror movie with Ice Cube in it, and it has awful CG. Right. Then a 1970s British horror movie, I, Monster. This is, by the way, great cover art. This also features a great set of boobs by the woman here who gets killed by the villain. But yeah, this is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde adaptation. It's just that basic story. So Christopher Lee starts to experiment on himself and gets turned during the night time into this monster. And Peter Cushing, another mainstay in British horror movies, is his friend and tries to save him. It's not the greatest adaptation of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but it's an alright one. Not the worst one either. Then we have a really fun war movie. Murphy's War tells the story of a British soldier during the Second World War who is the only survivor in this naval battle between a German submarine and a British I don't know what the class of the ship is, but a warship. He's the only survivor, and then he starts to plan a revenge, and he goes on this one-man mission to destroy the submarine. It's quite entertaining and interesting. Right. Again, a standard copy of Night Tide, which is a really offbeat horror movie, has Dennis Hopper in it. It has to do this strange woman who kind of is like, I guess, maybe a mermaid of some kind of. There's also tentacles involved, as you can see. It's bizarre. Another one of these really, really strange movies that didn't really necessarily find an audience at launch, but have been reevaluated. It's quite interesting. Then we have a movie that I have a soft spot for, The Beast Must Die, starring Calvin Lockhart and Peter Cushing. Now, this is a crazy movie. It is a werewolf movie that's also a blaxploitation movie. That is also a game like a whodunit murder mystery thing. I don't know. It's a crazy movie. It's not good, but it's really entertaining. So there you go. The Beast Must Die. Next up, we have The Blockhouse, which is another Second World War related movie. It's about a group of people who are buried in this fort during a bombing, and they just live there. No one knows that they are there, and they are just there in pitch black with only candles, living there for months and months and months, and start going crazy. Pretty good one. Next up, we have They Made Me a Fugitive, which is a movie that I don't really remember much about. I guess that tells how forgettable it is. It's a 1940s kind of crime movie. I guess it's alright. I don't remember anything about it. Next up, we have Marlon Brando in The Night of the Following Day, which is a crime movie, a kidnapping thriller. I guess it's alright. Marlon Brando is not great in it. This is from the era where Marlon Brando was just doing a bunch of stuff and not really making anything work. This is from 1968. Directed by, who was this directed by? Hubert Cornfield. No idea who that even is. But yeah, for what it is quite entertaining. Next up, we have Sidney Poitier in To Serve with Love, one of the most unrealistic movies about a teacher going to a school ever. Set in London with this black teacher coming to town and having this all-white group of kids that he's teaching. And yeah, the storyline is absolutely ridiculous. The writing is absolutely ridiculous. Sidney Poitier is great. It has a sort of a classic status, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think it holds up really that well. And then we have a standard copy of John Carpenter's Vampires, another movie that I have a soft spot for, even though a lot of people trash it and think it's awful. I think it's fine. It's not nearly as bad as people say. It's from 1998. Has who's the character? Who's the actor? I should say. Yeah, James Woods has James Woods in it. Daniel Baldwin. It's an offbeat vampire movie, a strange vampire movie. Has this Americana vibe to it, really weird. So that's the stuff that I've watched. Then I guess I'll go through a couple of the ones in my backlog here, and then start a new one because I have just stacks of backlog here. Indicator is one of those companies where I buy a lot of stuff from them, but I don't necessarily watch as many. They have great sales. I buy a lot of stuff from them during sales, especially. It often takes me years and years and years to get to watching many of these. So some of the ones in my backlog, we have John Wayne in Hellfighters, which is a movie about firefighters. Surprise, surprise. Then we have Ken Loach, a British director, and Carla Song. A Dream Called Freedom, Nightmare Called Nicaragua. He deals with a lot of societal issues in his movies. Quite a controversial director because of that. I also have Ken Loach's Fatherland from the 1980s. So it's a movie that deals with the West Germany, East Germany split. Next up, we have Joseph Losey's Eve. A movie that I don't know anything about, other than that it's directed by Joseph Losey, who is great. Next up, we have Grey Lady Down, featuring Charlton Heston in it, and David Carradine. So, a submarine movie. Looks interesting. Next up, we have Mr. Sardonicus, which is a William Castle movie. More about William Castle in the next video. I have one of the box sets as well of his movies. Next up, Fragment of Fear by Richard Sarafian. No idea who the director even is. Some kind of a horror/thriller ordeal, I guess. One thing that I always find peculiar about these indicator releases is that they often use the original poster art and then the original taglines for the movies. And the back covers of these releases don't really tell much about the movies, so if you don't know what you're getting into, you're just shit out of luck, I guess. There are many movies here that I know absolutely nothing about, other than that I got them in a sale for a cheap price. So that's great. Like this one. So this is Spring Night, Summer Night. I have no idea what this movie is. The missing link of American independent cinema. All right. Sounds good. This is also from the line of movies that has this Nicholas Winding Refn represents on them. So some of these movies have been, or at least are being marketed by having an affiliation with Nicholas Winding Refn, like movies that he likes or something like that. Next up, we have No Orchids for Miss Blandish by St. John Gloves. Why it could never be made? I don't know. I have a problem here. Big gun down is too high. I have to move it to the end here, or otherwise everything will fall apart. So now that's better. Then we have MacArthur featuring Gregory Peck, movie by Joseph Sargent. He's a great director. Biopic on General MacArthur. We also have Jet Pilot featuring John Wayne again. Howard Hughes from the 1950s. So as you can see, there are quite a few of these American studio movies that Indicator has released. Then we have Age of Consent, which sounds kind of dodgy. If I remember correctly, this is a movie about an island, or set on an island. Next up, Lilith, that has Warren Beatty in it. Great actor. Before Eve, there was evil, and her name was Lilith. Interesting stuff. Next up, Werner Herzog's Invincible. A movie about European history. Then we have Black Joy. Life is for a Living from the 1970s, a black British movie. I don't think I've ever seen one before, so interested in checking that one out. Let's do a couple more. Next up, we have Who, which is an awful name for a movie. But yeah, The Kill Machine with the Megaton Mind. It has this bizarre looking character in it, like this guy in this metal mask. I don't know anything about the movie, but it seems ridiculous, right? Then let's go with They Might Be Giants, directed by Anthony Harvey. When they reach out for each other, they touch every heart with warmth, charm, and laughter. I picked this one up because it has George C. Scott in it, who's great. He is especially great in The Changeling, the horror movie from the 70s. Then, what else do we have? We have Madigan, with Henry Fonda in it. Some kind of a police detective movie. Then a Robin Williams movie, Moscow on the Hudson. Most of these are still sealed, so I can't check out the booklets or anything like that. I don't want to unbox these for no reason, right? Then we have another sort of these, another one like Jet Pilot and Hellfighters, and where is the one? MacArthur. You have Midway, another sort of these like historical epics set in the war times. Charlton Heston, Henry Fonda. A massive cast of characters, 2 hours long. Then we have George C. Scott again in The Day of the Dolphin, which is the story of CIA trained dolphins, I guess. Just a ridiculous storyline, but yeah, there you go. And let's do one more. What should I pick? Well, let's end with some Charles Bronson. The Valday Horses, directed by John Sturges, another great director. This is a Western with Charles Bronson in it, so obviously I'm interested. There you go, that's the first part of my collection of Indicator Powerhouse Blu-rays. I'll be back again in a week with the rest of it, so the rest of the backlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.